Hi, welcome, and thanks for joining me in this rather strange version of the Performance Cafe. Today, I'd like to talk about remote work, and I thought we'd take things away from the cafe and get back to the homework environment. So here I am in my Atlas Schuhe, I think they call it gear, basically frumpy stuff you wouldn't wear to a meeting. And I was thinking about productive kindness in a slightly different light this week. So when I started on this whole thing about productive kindness, it's been quite a couple of weeks now, I seem to have gotten stuck. It really was about helping people that had really big issues. It was the beginning of COVID. It was those incredible lockdowns. It was people getting ill, people dying in mass numbers, much more than what we see now. It was children being home the whole day and parents having to homeschool plus run a business and a house without leaving the house and being able to get to anything. And so when we were talking about productive kindness, it was about how to help people in that extreme context. And I think it still remains valid today, even though we seem to have sort of gotten used to what COVID has to throw at us for now. But people still have large life events, people still lose loved ones, people still go through trauma, all those kinds of things. So I think the sort of like the bigger version of productive kindness, the uber kindness, for want of a better word, I think is still very relevant. But I've been giving a lot of thought to one of our coffee companions, Andy Golding from Still Human. She's the co-founder there, who said one day that a lot of employee engagement is not about the big things. It's about the little things that trip employees up. Sometimes it's the small things that just make work so difficult, or a little machine, or, you can't do your work because the photocopier won't work, but no one ever fixes the photocopier, or no one gets a new photocopier. And oddly enough, that's what sends people over the edge, because it's a lot of those little things that come together and upset the apple cart. And on the basis of that, I've been rethinking, or thinking further probably, about productive kindness. And the thought that came to mind to me is, now that we are sort of settling with this and there's enough regulation around how do we manage people in office parks, and now that we've proven that actually we can work from home, now there's a really large debate around when do we get to go back to the office. And I was wondering if this is another place where productive kindness can step in and help with those little things. So the first thing that comes to mind is that most people don't want to be in an office with me. I'm a very nice person, but let's face it, I'm chatty like crazy. So you've got introverts who actually cannot share space with people like me, because they want to sit, they want to focus, they want to work, they don't need all of that social interaction. In fact, they find it exhausting. And then you let them loose in a place with someone like me, and it is just so demotivating. Is it therefore productive kindness to let them work from home? Because they are going to be more productive working from home. And so you are showing kindness in understanding that the situation isn't optimal for them. On the other hand, you want to take people like me, or people even more extroverted, and you want to say to them, come to the office, there's space, even though you've got to sit a desk apart or whatever, there is space, because we understand that you guys can't cope without the water cooler chat, the quick coffee, without sharing the mail for the quote for the day, or whatever the case may be. And in letting those individuals work together, they are a lot less frustrated by having interruptions. So by having them work together, you're increasing productivity while being kind. And then, of course, it's one thing to be kind to the employees. We do need to ensure that business carries on as it should. And so the other part that we have to take into consideration is exactly how much contact, collaboration, and interaction is needed in order for employees to function optimally. What I mean is, do people actually need to sit in the same room? Now, ironically, I've worked since about 2000. I've worked remotely. And in many cases, especially before until about 2017, I actually didn't even face-to-face. I didn't even meet some of my clients face-to-face. They were a voice on a Skype call or a face on a Skype call. And so we built teams. We acted like teams. We were engaged like teams without ever having met in person. So I'm thinking that there might actually be a way that it would work to have people work from home. But can it work in the work context? Now, firstly, for all of you naysayers, if you've got someone who has to run a furnace, they're not going to do it from home. Gotcha, right? On board with that one. So yes, there are certain jobs that do restrict the ability to work from home. But on the other hand, we can say, how much time should people spend together? And what I found worked beautifully was a hybrid model, where I used to work Monday, Wednesday, Friday from the office and Tuesday, Thursday from home. So what would happen is I would leave my focused work that I had to block time for and, do admin and work that couldn't be interrupted on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I would then leave meetings and collaborations and working together and giving feedback to team members on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, because I was going to be in the room with them. And the whole point was to interact. So we found work that created interaction for those days. So my message is quite simply, I know there's a big rush to get back to the office and get back to normal, as if I don't think we ever can after a year of this. But there's more to managing than walking out of an office and seeing a bunch of people in a bullpen looking busy. And maybe this is a place where a little productive kindness can help the introverts be productive, can help the extroverts be productive, and still ensure that they spend enough time in the office together. And so that's it for me. Myself, my frumpy house clothes, and my mug of coffee are going back to the couch to carry on typing. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and it's given you food for thought. And as always, if you are seeing us on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and then remember to click on the little bell so that you get notifications whenever the next video comes around. And then, of course, if you are following us on LinkedIn and Facebook, please like, comment, and share. This content is for free. Let's get it out there. And I then look forward to seeing you on Friday when we can speaking to Yendo about potential and performance. Have an awesome one.